actually moving.
It's doing things.
Well, good morning, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started. And for those of you I haven't met, my name is Cindy Chavez. I'm a member of the Board of Supervisors and a big fan of our Measure A housing projects. Long before the pandemic turned our housing world upside down, the voters in Santa Clara County had a vision for affordable housing for many, many people in our community, but for seniors as well. Seniors who are veterans and seniors who are low income, meaning they have income between 30 and 2016. Today, $23 million of that bond will help build 165 apartments here by 2023 for seniors and veterans who are seniors in an area that will be surrounded by food gardens and within walking distance to grocery stores, drugstores, and public transportation. And 54 of the 165 apartments will be permanent supportive housing. Welcome to Agriland. This housing project will be professionally managed. The food gardens will have agricultural experts overseeing everything from drip irrigation to soil conditions. The gardens will also help create a strong bond with the community with events like farm to table, pop-up, cloud kitchens, and food trucks. The possibilities are endless because eventually this will be a mixed income, mixed use, intergenerational housing development. The economic fallout from the pandemic has created more affordable housing problems for seniors in one of the most expensive areas in the entire nation to live. With baby boomers aging, we will continue building permanent supportive housing, and Agriland could very well be the gold standard. It's been said that people who grow things are people who have hope for the future. We here in our community have great hope for Santa Clara County and for the affordable housing future. It now gives me great pleasure to introduce Consuelo Hernandez, the Director of the Santa Clara County Office of Supportive Housing.
Good morning, everybody. Consuelo Hernandez, Director with the Office of Supportive Housing. I've had the privilege and honor of managing the affordable housing bond since it was approved by the voters in 2016. And in just 4 years, we've managed to fund over $533 million towards projects, resulting in over 3,900 units. Agrihood is particularly close to our heart. I think it's a combination of a lot of community support, community engagement, and what we can achieve when we work together. The other milestone for this development is it's one of 6 other projects that is very soon starting their construction. We have 6 other developments, and pardon me while I read these out to you. Agrihood joins others, including Blossom Hill Senior Housing, 146 units, North Street for a total of 94 units. 367 are specifically targeted to seniors. As Supervisor Chavez mentioned, we are aging in our county, and our homeless population is no different. Over 50% of our unhoused folks are seniors, aged 55 or older, and collectively these developments will help us fill that gap that's needed as people live on the streets for long periods of time. While chronologically they may be 55, when you look at all of their health conditions, they're actually closer to 62. And this program and the funding of Measure A will help us provide critical housing for folks that desperately need it. Thank you.
This vision is really a vision of the City of Santa Clara, and Mayor Lisa Gilmore is going to tell you more about it. I do want to just make one point. This is so critical. We can't build housing in communities that won't be open to it. And I really want to just acknowledge that the City of Santa Clara has played a very assertive, aggressive role, both in building housing, but also really in being open to building affordable housing. And with that, I'd like to introduce Mayor Gilmore.
Thank you so much, Supervisor Chavez, for inviting me today to talk about this wonderful project here in the City of Santa Clara. In addition to the pandemic and all the issues that we've been facing, another crisis we have is the affordable housing crisis. And it's not just an issue in Santa Clara or Santa Clara County, but the entire Bay Area. So what brings us all here today? It's progress, and progress towards addressing the affordable housing crisis. Over the past 4 years, the City of Santa Clara has made great progress towards advancing our affordable housing goals. we partnered with the County Office of Supportive Housing to access $70 million of Measure A funds and 175 project-based vouchers to serve Santa Clara's most vulnerable households. Also, the city has approximately 1,000 units of affordable housing in the pipeline, including 165 low-income units and 16 moderate income units here on this very project. Santa Clara takes great pride in the fact that over half of our affordable housing pipeline is set aside for extremely low and very low income households, including 200 permanent supportive housing units. Now let's talk about this project. The Agrihood project, which started in 2005 when the City of Santa Clara acquired this 5.8-acre vacant site, has faced numerous challenges and delays over the past 16 years, including recent dramatic cost increases in the construction industry, which almost jeopardized this project's feasibility. The $250 million Agrihood mixed-use development on city-owned land includes all the 165 affordable housing units reserved for veterans and seniors who are often housing insecure. Funding for this affordable housing includes $23.5 million in county Measure A funds, and the city is contributing $15.7 million to the affordable housing and farm components of the project. Agrihood is a visionary housing project that features an open space programmed to support placemaking activities, as well as a unique urban farm that will provide an urban living environment with a connection to Santa Clara's rich agricultural history. Agrihood is truly a result of community-led collaborative process with our wonderful developer core. And we also hired Fred Kent from Project for Public Spaces, which led a visionary placemaking process with our seniors in the City of Santa Clara to help develop this project and to create the open space, which is the anchor tenant of this entire project. So in closing, I want to emphasize that we are committed to partnering with the community to help address the housing crisis, and thank you all for making Agrihood a reality.
You know, I talked about cities needing to be open. I will also say that we've been blessed in this valley with some really tremendous friends that have been leaders in development. I think there are very few development companies as creative as the core company, and I'm not surprised at all that they're the partner on this project. It gives me great pleasure to introduce Chris Neal, the developer of Agriland and vice president of the core companies.
Thank you, Mayor Gilmore and Supervisor Chavez, for your leadership to ensure visionary projects like Agrihood are possible. We are honored to be here today and grateful to the city and county support for this project. Without your leadership, this project would not be under construction and closer than ever to welcoming its first residents. More than anything, the Agrihood project is about bringing people together. Whether it's through community events or the farm along Winchester Boulevard. As we get back to post-pandemic normal, our focus is to create a place where residents and neighbors feel welcomed and in community with one another. The need for quality spaces where neighbors can gather has never been greater than now. The Agrihood project will be completed in 2023 and provide housing for seniors as well as veterans. The senior project will also provide permanent supportive housing and services for some of the neediest members of our community, with a special focus on promoting health and wellness through access to nutritious and sustainable produce. Throughout this process, we have valued input from the community, and we are incredibly grateful to those that have helped guide the project through constructive feedback and respectful dialogue. When we set forth on this project, we envisioned this to be a public-private partnership in the truest sense. We are thankful to the voters who lent their support to Measure A. We are grateful to do business in areas where the large majority of residents recognize the need for housing at all levels of affordability. While CORE has been working on this project since 2015, the community's involvement was well before that. please let me introduce Kirk Vartan, whose community work provided the seeds of inspiration for Agrihood.
Hello, my name's Kirk Vartan. Many of you might know me as the pizza guy. I operate a pizza shop called the Slice of New York right around the corner here, headquartered in the City of Santa Clara, and is the first worker-owned cooperative right here in Santa Clara County. As Chris mentioned, I've been involved almost 20 years on this very site and literally captured thousands of voices in this process. It truly has been a community effort to vision this site. The community really wanted what the greatest good while respecting the ag roots here that Santa Clara Valley has always been proud of. We ended up hiring 3 architects and designers to talk about what can be visioned on this site, and then amazingly, CORE kind of serendipitously connected with the community to create something that is really visionary here in our area. I mean, it was 6 years ago. I can't believe it's been 6 years when we first engaged with CORE, but it's been an incredible journey to explore and see how a vision can actually get turned into a project design. They believed in this vision and they embraced it, and they're bringing much of it to life now. The Agrihood possibilities right here in this county, and I think it's maybe even the states, it's the first mixed-use, mixed-income, intergenerational urban farm-based housing community, and that's something that we should really celebrate here, especially in the heart of Silicon Valley, right here. Opportunities for seniors to remain active, engaged, and independent, something we all want for our seniors and ourselves as we age. And we hope Agrihood will be the symbol for this going into the future for other developers to see, and the community, city leaders, and anybody that sees we need change to grow into the areas that we are right now. Places for people of all ages, of all income levels, where public spaces become, as Mayor Gilmore said, the anchor tenant, something to be celebrated. Change can be a great thing when it's great. It's awesome to see that this is all happening now. I'm very proud to be a part of this discussion, and thank you for having me here to speak on this. The county, the City of Santa Clara, CORE companies, and the community came together to make this happen together as a community and as a vision. And to really underscore that Santa Clara is really the center of what's possible. A little plug right there, because it's true. And let's hope that this outdoor kitchen that will be here will have an outdoor pizza oven.
I think we all know where we're going for lunch. All right. Thank you, Kurt. Thank you for that enthusiasm. It is really my honor to get to introduce Laura Hermanson, a Farmscape principal who will be the farm operator of Agrihood.
Hi, my name is Laura Hermanson. I'm one of the co-owners and principal at Farmscape. We're the largest urban farming company in California, and we've had the privilege of being a part of this project with CORE since 2015. We've worked on the design installation, and we will proceed being the farm operator on this project. So to talk a little bit about the farm, this is going to be a 7,500 square foot organic, sustainable, regenerative farm in the middle of this project. And despite all the challenges this project has had, as many people have already mentioned, the commitment this team has had to doing something truly unique and revolutionary with the landscape has never changed. This farm is going to provide all sorts of intergenerational volunteer opportunities for both our residents at the property as well as the wider community. And so we look forward to seeing everybody there. We're providing all sorts of opportunities for people to get involved. We're going to be growing almost 20,000 pounds of food, if my predictions are correct, on this piece of property. And all of that will be going to a farm stand that we'll be sharing with the community weekly. And the volunteer events, as I said, will be for all ages and abilities. And we're going to be having essentially a giant intergenerational hangout on this farm. So we look forward to seeing everybody there. And thank you so much to our community partners, to our developers, and to the City of Santa Clara for sponsoring this pretty amazing project.
I'll just wrap up. We're happy to take questions, but I would just want to wrap up with this point that as we look at Measure A and we look at the projects that really Consuelo started to outline, one of the things that's become really apparent to me is that there's such a great need in our community and how important our partners are, particularly for cities who are stepping up saying, yes, in my backyard. I just really want to lift up Santa Clara and say thank you very, very much for their leadership. And again, to core development, core companies, I think, creativity is going to be really the coin of the realm as it relates to the housing that comes online. So thank you very much. So we're happy to answer questions for any of you. And so we're open to that, or we can do one-on-ones. Are there questions that folks have?
Yeah. Can you tell me a little bit about, maybe this is a question for Laura, but a little bit about what kind of food that you're going to be growing?
What a great question. What kind of food are we going to be growing? So we essentially have two big seasons here. We have a summer that grows ever longer each year, and then a briefer winter vegetable growing season. So in the summer, we're going to have everything from tomatoes, eggplants, peppers, squash, all of our fresh herbs, a lot of stuff that would be really good on pizzas. And then in the winter, we'll have our brassica, so that's broccoli, cauliflower, as well as peas and things that go into a salad. So your lettuce greens, beets, carrots, things like that.
You mentioned that it's going to be in a farm stand, like weekly. Could you tell me a little bit about what that is and how residents can access that?
Sure. So the way it's going to work is that we're going to have a farm stand that is part of the shed facility. So we'll be bringing the food weekly up to this shed facility, and there's going to be an honor system farm stand. So rather than having it staffed all the time, the way we're going to do it is just do it the way you do on the farm, where you put a farm stand out at the end of your driveway and say, produce is a few dollars a pound, and people will be able to pay what they can there.
And it will be on site?
Yes, it will. It'll be at the shed facility, which will be right next to the farm.
Other questions that folks have? Anybody else? Yes. Estimated completion date.
It's a 26-month construction period, so that should put lease up starting in late summer of 2023. 26-month construction period.
And you can hear the construction. They didn't stop for anything. In fact, I don't want to see any of you in any of these trucks. Any other questions that folks have?
Will the county have any processing or the city who's going to live in these houses?
So let me ask Consuelo. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure, thank you. And the question was the referrals for the units. The units that are designated as supportive housing units, those will come from our office. We, through partnerships with the city and everybody else that is part of our coordinated entry assessment and entry system, we will work with the city to identify areas that are known for unhoused individuals to live in, to help them either connect to this site or to other properties. As I mentioned, we have quite a bit in our pipeline, leasing up over 300 units right now. And the referrals basically will come from our office. We will connect them to a housing program and then enroll them into the property. Because they are supported with a project-based voucher, they have to go through two pieces of approval process. They have to go first approved by the housing authority, then by the actual property.
Sorry, one follow-up.
Sure.
You mentioned that the county population is aging and so is the homeless population. Can you tell, has it grown, and do you know by what percentage of our homeless population are seniors?
I don't know the percentage off the top of my head, but more than 75% of our unhoused population is 25 or older. And then we make a distinction in what we refer to as an older adult, as somebody who's 55 or older. Even though there are some programs that limit a senior category to 62 or 65, as I mentioned, the impact to a person living on the streets is greater. And so while they might be 50 or 55, realistically, they're a lot older from a health perspective.
If there are no more questions, we're happy to hang out and just do one-on-ones if that's helpful for people. Thank you all for being here. And thank you all. Good job.
Yeah, we had an RFP, we had, I think,
We are. We just grew. This is really funny. Because they didn't have any. No, I know.
Yes, I've been talking
We had some developers that
But except like the NFL versus the state.
so what we're right?
Too bad how much you
Money wise, but they were the most developers, so we chose them and they stuck with us. And the good part is that
Imagine like you're in the process of in the ground and then we can walk away. We would only be there.
it was crazy. It was so good. We went out for it. Right down the street. And we have yeah, a lot of senior involved. Visionary sessions.